Alright, so why can't I do this then? Ah, okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but in for Garuda Awakening. Yeah, and this is where what's his face? Urionje is hanging out. So we may as well go there. Finally use the envelopes for once. It's something I should have expected. Actually, give me a second, guys. Because I made a lot of notes for like the rest of this whole patch, but not obviously not of the story, because I skip all that. But when I look for specific instance content for like the certain patches, I just, you know, look up YouTube videos for those fights and then make notes for them. But I don't remember if I made notes for... Whoops. Also, yeah, sorry if this looks weird. Maybe it doesn't. Because when I get out of focus for the game window shrinks a little bit. But you might not even see that. So it would be you two, right? Yeah. Here it is. Ah, Teha, I hear you have triumphed over Infrit. Of course, this is no less a feat than I would expect a warrior of light, but well done all the same. Now I full had mind to crack open a bottle of 1547 Bacchus, but the celebration must keep. Garuda, I'm afraid to say, is also returned. As you well know, Garuda's appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Not to dishearten you, but in her latest incarnation, that appetite has become nigh insatiable. In the short time since her return, she has already wreaked tremendous havoc. You must send her back to the Aether before she can do any more damage. In the meantime, Yida and I will assist the Order of the Twin Adder in their recovery effort. When you previously faced Garuda, 'twas the Enterprise that bore you through the storm that shielded her domain. Well, that storm is as a spring breeze beside what she had raised this time. No airship could hope to penetrate it. And so we must count ourselves fortunate that the Order of Twin Adder a chance to discover Beastman, Aetheryte, leading to the Howling Eye. Before you do aught else, I suggest you pay a visit to Adder's Nest and have words with Commander Hillux. He will be able to tell you about the said Aetheryte, among other things. Make no mistake, the Lady of the Vortex will prove a formidable opponent, but I believe you can weather the storm. May the 12 keep you safe. Oh, these are the extremes for that. Alright. Oh, Gunbreaker. Cool. I didn't know that was a level 60 thing. That would be the extreme for that. I don't remember what that's about. And I don't think we've ever faced Odin, so that's new for me. Ahateha of the Scions, we're grateful for your aid. As you already know, the cursed exile has summoned Garuda once more. Since her return, she has wasted no time in unleashing her fury upon the region. Extensive damage has been reported in both the Twelves Wood and Coerthus. She must be stopped and soon, lest more lives be lost. In the name of the Elder Seedseer, I humbly request you put an end to her reign of terror. As in the past, Garuda keeps her court within the Howling Eye, which is perpetually protected by the Raging Tempest. Fortunately, we have learned of an alternate way into her domain. The Exile have constructed an aetheryte within Natalan, their stronghold in the central highlands of Coerthus. This aetheryte will take you to Garuda's tempestuous realm. We owe this discovery to the Ishgardians, who the Elder Seedseer says desire to repay the kindness you showed them. For the sake of our people as well as theirs, may your mission be met with success. I don't know what this is about. There's so many feature quests that I've been skipping that, you know, eventually I'm just gonna have to get through them all. And it's not like a matter of having to. I will want to. It's just a matter of when. It's been foggy all over. Yeah, I didn't do any research on this, so I'm just gonna queue for it, and hopefully I'll remember to make my notes later. Because there's literally nothing else to do in the game, you know? I have to push through. Even if it becomes a disaster. Here we go. Wow, suddenly it's all so bright out. Cool. So that's well and done. Let's get back to pray return to the waking suns. And let's do Titan. Y'shtola. What you got? So both Ifrit and Garuda are now vanquished by your hands. Truly you have earned yourself a rest. Would that you had the luxury of time to enjoy it. It pains me to say that Titan has also returned. And with a vengeance. As was the case with his primal brethren, he has grown stronger than he was before. When I went about my investigation, all indications suggested that the kobolds were nowhere near ready to resume their summoning rites. But it turns out they were deceiving us. I should have known better. The kobolds' subterranean domain runs deep, and they can easily hoard crystals with our being none the wiser. And a vast hoard it must have been. Until now, Garuda was the most powerful among the three recently active primals. But according to our latest readings, Titan has usurped that honor. A primal's might is determined by two factors: the amount of crystals it has gorged upon, and the fervor of its believers. I would like nothing more than to measure precisely how strong the Lord of Crags has become, but I fear the time for such prudence has run out. We have already received an official request for assistance from the Maelstrom, and as you might expect, it is addressed to you. For your previous encounter with Titan, you traveled to his Demesne by way of the Aetheryte first discovered by the Company of Heroes. Sad to say, this Aetheryte no longer seems to respond. But do not despair, for the Maelstrom has reportedly found another in its place. You will want to speak with Commander Riki at Maelstrom Command for the details. I cannot stress this enough, but Titan has grown fearsome strong. See to it that you spare no preparation. Before I do that, let me run to the inn, deposit this Warren's orchestration roll, and we'll keep it up. Actually, as soon as I activate the Aetheryte, I'm taking a break, so that we can keep going for a bit longer. So it goes back to the basic song after. Oh yeah, I like this. This was a weird one though. For a dungeon, it was such a melancholy peaceful sounding tune. Like, it reminds me of a lot of the levels in Donkey Kong Country for the Super NES. A lot of the snow levels had this peaceful melancholy to it. Nice. I actually like that. For an inn, that's appropriate. It's really bright when it's on. Okay. Lieutenant Strife, your presence is most welcome. I'm chagrined that we must turn to you again to lay Titan low. No doubt this is yesterday's news to you, but the Lord of Crags has returned more ferocious and formidable than he was before. We cannot fathom how the kobolds were able to obtain such vast stores of crystals, and in no short a time. We will learn the answer in the coming moons, I suspect. But first things first. We need you to vanquish Titan before he and the kobolds have a chance to wreak havoc on Lim Solominsa. You have failed the primal before, and we believe you can emerge victorious once more. We've learned of a new aetheryte that will take you to the navel. It's situated deep within Ugamaro Mines. Not the most convenient of locations, admittedly, so you will have to cut yourself a path. Please, make all haste. Titan's mere presence emboldens the kobolds. And 'tis only a matter of time before they move in force against us. May the Navigator guide you on your way, Lieutenant. Figured I'd have to go in those labyrinth caves again. Alright. Took a hot minute. I could have taken my break and actually queued up while I was away. Music's already kicking. get ready to rumble! Oof. Somehow, I don't remember. I didn't notice, but somehow the main tank died. But he may have just they may have just fallen off. I actually have no idea. Oh man. Alright. Bit of a bump with the main tank dying the first time around, but we got him. Cool. Now we can do this. Hang on a second. Where's Mamenda? But yeah, that fight is really rough on main tanks. That's I don't envy the one in our group having to be near death, a lot of it. Most eager to address the Asian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, Antecedent, as I walk in, suddenly. The Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Teha in particular is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. Nodders. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Mortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Teleji Adeleji and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Oban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have any objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Monbreda's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, although I'm not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Hands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Yeah, like sending me off to hard mode primals. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Teha, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphinaud and his braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the immortal flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Rio's latest report. He is proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others which kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'dan riots. When you're finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Through a Bluetooth earpiece. Pleasure as always, Teha. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'da, I take it. Actually, I had another task in mind for him. If you'll be so kind as to repeat your report for his benefit. Right then. Me and mine's been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their ways into refugee hands a way back. So happens we caught wind of something promising. A rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant that what caught an arrow while talking to Teha, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Savvy. Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, we strike at the appointed hour. We might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Teha? Then it's settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilberd at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'da. I expect good tidings. Hello, Teha. You sleeping well? Must be absolutely exhausted from saving the realm on a daily basis. Boy, am I. I don't sleep unless I log off. Oh, what happened? Teha. My scouts have been keeping a close eye on the Black Marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard, common thugs of no consequence. They nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a man of your standing. And Commander Levillier needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one of you, it is only natural that we would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me, Teha. By what one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the Black Marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed with the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Then let us be off. Good luck, my friend.
Hey, wait, I have a question. Where's the bathroom?
Alright, you. You have a wooden shield. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damn fool. You should have never come here. I don't understand. What's this all about?
Yeah.
As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, to bring an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levillier will be most disappointed. Damn it all, a golden opportunity, wasted. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, a first is currently tracking a party of dusk white sellswords we suspect may be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames or the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we have secured our weapons, Yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. I will join the first in their hunt for the Duskwhite sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask that you deliver these weapons to Ul'dah in my stead. Entrust them to the third Yoyoshase. I think I've met him before. He will take care of the rest. And let's see if the dancing folk are at the entrance. As always. I don't recognize that one. It's beautiful though. It's well played. Why, Teha, this is a surprise. Resh wished for me to thank you for helping us to rescue her from Castrum Sentry. I wish I could remember who this is. How fortunate that we could meet again so soon. I recognize her face, but I don't remember who Resh was. Did you hear, my friend? I received my first official assignment as a full-fledged member of the Crystal Braves. Wilfred. Oh, are these the people that I recruited before Alphanod formed all this? It's probably where I remember her from. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend of the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Corythus. Now, what brings you to us this day? A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer. Courtesy of Captain Ilbert, you say? Understood. Once we've cataloged the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Rio stated with confidence that there would be a far greater quantity of weapons. A blatant falsehood. Clearly Rio is unfamiliar with the ways of Ul'dan merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that his information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we've got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the ceruleum processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Fight well, Alien. For the freedom of all. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. Man, my shadow's really weird looking. Teha, a word if it please thee. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time. Don't you worry. Why, did I whistle at him at some point in the past? You know, this is one of those things, and credit to how good the narrative is so far and how it interlinks with side characters and such. I reckon another playthrough, either on stream or off stream, whenever, that isn't me doing what I'm doing with my alt, which is skipping everything I've already done before, will jog a lot of memory and all this. Alright, dude, what's up? Thanks for indulging me request. Few places better than the market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and bustle commerce means most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burning Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything, leave no detail out. What, in the cave where I heard a disturbance? That's not quite how the first told it. Is this... Because I didn't say it, but I was thinking, like, something was sketch about how suddenly a yell and then a death, right? These Duskwights, they were chasing. Latest word is that we lost the trail. But you never saw them yourself. Not before the fighting started, and not after? Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in me bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable, goddamn it. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've ever deciphered a moneylender's books, or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started, believe me. The commander wanted assurances that we weren't taking gil from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days the money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I've a lot on me mind these days, and I can appreciate you lending an ear. Right then, best get back to it. Teha, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you're able. Oh, stuff's going down now. I don't know what it is, but if I'm not completely sure I understand what that exchange was about, other than the confrontation in the cave being kind of sketch. But if he's saying that there's the Dolewhite, like I can refer back to it, I guess. Duskwitch, we lost the trail. I mean, yeah, in truth, I never saw him myself. Not before the fighting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But if this is gonna boost my suspicions of Ilberd, for whatever relationship he's got with Roban, I've always been side-eyeing him. Thank you for coming so quickly, Teha. We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most, determined lady, by all indications. I can only imagine who that would be. Our guest is with the Antecedent in the Solar at present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we? At this point, it would be more unnerving if he spoke plainly. Unexpected tidings from the north, borne by the Lord Commander's second. What manner of wind bloweth this day? This is no time for idle chatter. Good of you to join us. We have much to discuss.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm.
Hey?
Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgardsormr himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald. Only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Garlean fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Urianger has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgardsormr had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. we cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard Sorma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emmerich would entrust this task to you. Do you accept? We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Ominous. Forgive me if I state aught which you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. Nodders. As Yurion J stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius von Belsar attempted to seize control of more donuts. So massive was his hunger that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. But an unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgard Sormer, legendary guardian of Silver Tear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean airships overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silver Tear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's ceruleum engines failed, and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transformed Silver Tear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing aether for malms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its center a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emmerich's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with him before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not when dangers wait you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done, and precious little time to do it. Oddly enough, this will be a lot faster than going through 2 instance doors. Plus, I have more than enough money to spend on a trivial thing. You're in luck, sir. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum's supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again. Well, from here that seems rather unlikely, but if it's assurances they want, You've no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Is it because it's foggy out that I can't see what they're meant to be showing? That would be hilarious. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrius, then climb to the top. That's the only viable approach, I'd say. Alright, let's do it. I lost my train of thought there. Like, where am I going? Sure, give me a second. Some unique mechanics I'm seeing for the last fight. Well, we'll see how we do, as always. It's a big place. That was a bit rough. Damn, alarm is so loud. Holy hell. Thank God. I had to lower it down a bit. Jeez. Of all the sound effects, that's the loud one. Definitely not a dungeon you can just not think about. You have to position yourself properly. Oh, I see you. Even though I killed you, apparently. I see you.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet?
It's my brethren.
Thou hast forgotten the face of thy Lord. Remember, mortal, and fear me.
Fuck, we lost our we lost our healer. Uh-oh. Yeah. I even have it at my notes. Is like, anyone who's outside that barrier dies. And of all people, it's the healer. We'll get it this time. Ugh. Everything's exploding. Freaking AoE's out the ass. Alright. That was fun. Jeez, it's like there was no room to stay still.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen.
Okay. Got any cookies?
Guided by a star.
That laugh.
Have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Seven children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end. Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
Hey, we're back. I looked a lot different than the last time I was here. Dead crystals, then?
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more.
He's talking about the crystal that was like think, feel, touch, and all that. I kind of understand. Like, he's like, no, her blessing was BS. The hell?
The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice.
So he sucked up the energy from the crystals that I got, and that's gonna revive him. Is my guess.
The dragon song heraldeth our beginning and an end.
You may summon Midgard Stormer by selecting the corresponding entry within your minion guide under character in the main menu. Wait, I got a minion off that? Got a minion off that. Cool. Was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. Father of dragons, keeper of the lake, bane of the 14th Legion. While it is difficult to believe the Yalm-Long pup could be any of these things, he assures you his current form is only temporary while he awaits the reconstruction of a new corporal vessel. Yoink. Where you at? Okay. I was beginning to fear the worst. For those explosions I saw. Boy, were they. Ah, but you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphinaud left a message stating that you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Alright. This is like the most instances I've done in like a single stream. We've done Shiva, Titan hard, Garuda hard, this dungeon, Keeper of the Lake, and provided that, you know, we can keep it going for like another half hour, I don't know, maybe there's another one coming. Alright. I'd say that dungeon was fun, but it definitely did not keep me calm. It was a panicky feeling throughout. What? Satoru, calm down. Why was she angry, Thancred? Right. Aw, he's been worried sick about me. I don't know why, but Yurion J's quote there kind of mindfucked me. Praise the 12 Amen. You are hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emmerich's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. Then I would hear your report. We died once. We came back. Explosions happened. You conversed with Midgard-Sormer, not before killing 2 of his children, but yeah. I swear that were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish, and has in sooth lain dormant these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more a rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent, but we must share this information with Sir Emmerich immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgard-Sormer in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian is a grave but necessary risk. Lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection and for the sake of our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. Nodders. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emmerich's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. I shall be back but a day. Is there something you're not telling us, Teha? You seem different somehow. It is almost as if you're missing something. Something important. 12 for Fend. Midgard-Sormer stripped you of the blessing of light? Are you alright? How do you feel? I am nodding. That's how I feel. I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. Beggar's belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgard Sormer made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters came into existence, so too did the Great Worm. Althik and Nemea, brother Time and sister Fate, decreed that Midgard Sormer ever watch over the source, from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this was the covenant of which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Heidelin herself? Well, if he's watching over you as he claimed, mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. I do not wish to burden our friends needlessly.
Bah?
Out thou upon or mastery of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal? Imagine if farts look like that. Be fireworks year round.
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Wormlord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
What time is it? Well, I've been streaming for over 4 hours. Jeez. Ishgardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgard Sormer who warred. Wait, was it not? A call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Maybe I missed something. Until such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Monbrita has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment, I shall be along once I have completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head to the Solar, shall we? I've summoned everyone to the Solar Twitch. Okay.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute! Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Damn. Pop quiz time.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? Aye, I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it's worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
This man just decides to like eavesdrop until he has an answer and he just like busts the door down. It's like, I know the answer to this.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arsians will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a Crystal Brave, you are yet a Scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalymo shall accompany you.
Wait, he's oh my god. I've been calling him Papalymo. Like, split the word up into two, you get Papa and Limo. I get it. I've been calling him Papalymo forever. Papalymo. He's a dad, apparently.
Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Urianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you're able. Go well, and be safe.
Always wants us to pray about something. No one here. It would seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The 4th have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Okay. Your duties take you to northern Thanalan, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Philhamen travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a unified front or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Ascilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side, not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Bah! Woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. The way he does that is funny. I shall be well protected, it seems, by his thrusting hips. Shall we be on our way then? Wait, that means his thrusting hips is a repellent to any evil forces. Oh no. Well, that's that. I like those guys. They're very much side men, for lack of a better word, but they're cool to talk to from time to time. Oh, we're in it. Here we are. Commander Levalier sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since the disaster with the Malja. But returning to the task at hand. The Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Roban's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein, that we might coordinate our counter strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Lieutenant Strife, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. We could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. Civilian draftsmen, you see, have come across several high suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we are unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest developments of the Imperial army. I would once again ask for your aid. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garlean garrison, and it would seem that the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I have appraised your fellow scions of the situation, and I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Alian, and lend your much welcome strength to the counter-offensive. Oh wow, yeah, her weapon. Investing in the future. It's a cool axe. Yeah, true. Glad to have you with us, Teha. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons. Sorry, I just saw a mosquito in the room. Hang on. That's not going to be fun trying to kill that. Anyways, Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the 4th should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The 3rd was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the planet's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, 'twould be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. There are no objections. The Scions shall join the 4th and give battle to this main column. You're with the 3rd, then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. Pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads. The better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground, and make sure we root out all those would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. You seem grim, Scion. I'll take it that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another of these Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the 4th and let Lieutenant Alian know that the west is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Okay. Lieutenant Strife, what news of the Garleans? Oh, she's got a dragon too. A Midgard Soma of her own. Their raiding parties are no more, then. Excellent. The Magina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the planet is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alian has reported a sound victory over the main column, and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is. The rogue Gadian lady with the large axe. So it appears she has chosen to remain at the site of battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but northern Thanalan is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I would certainly feel better about things if you would check on her before you continue on your way.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know, as Urianger never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one.
You came out the womb with an axe?
And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
Okay. Just give me that axe, I guess.
He senses me. A useful talent.
Hanassian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet. Unconscious. But this staff... You say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louisoix's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
You're here. Master Louisoix's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
You two!
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time...
The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Alright. Interesting how there's no one here while this big thing's going off. And while I'm away, she's just been lying there. Alright. Chrysalis. May as well do this now. Who's no Chrysalis? Hey, 3 times around the table. It worked. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get Minfilia back. Her and her staff. Hi, Leona. Ads. Okay, now hi. I was like, hi, Leona. It's like ads. I was like, wait, I get ads on my stream? How was your day? How was your Sunday? I know, I realized a long time ago, but I keep forgetting. Day's good, just playing 14. Oh, that's awesome, you have time for it. I've heard you've been busy lately, so that's good. You're taking it easy as can be. Oh god, we gotta kill this guy, I bet. How's it hanging, Minfilia? Are we waiting for someone? Or does he... Oh, we're trying to figure it out. Never mind. I should be doing other things, but FF14 calls. Thank you for the good luck. I'm sure we'll be alright, but it seems like we're currently chatting about my first time. Oh. Yeah. Windows at least just a... Into the turn. Usually there's not like a lot of talking during these instances, so it's kind of refreshing at least. That's cool. I blur my chat mostly because of the FC I'm in. I mean, I haven't told them that I even stream, so I don't want any stuff that they talk about to be on stream. I get it. I haven't been lucky enough to be in an FC that RPs. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good thing or bad, but they're just a chill FC. They keep to themselves for the most part. Oh god, this is the orb phase. Alright. Shit. I have no idea what I was supposed to do there, but alright. Almost getting him. Almost there. Ah, we wipe. Yeah, this seems fine. Just a big ass meteor vaporizing us. Doing a lot better now, but it's that last bit. Everyone's just going into the hole. My understanding was you had to escape it for as long as possible before you got in. But whatever. What the hell just happened? Oh, we did it. I thought we wiped. I was like, that was a quick wipe. We didn't have a chance. But, alright. Good. Bastard was annoying anyways. Oh, I got a challenge complete off that. Cool. Alright, now what?
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No! You cannot! No!
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate! Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Yeah, damn dragon sucked it all up.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me. I shall make you pay for your insolence.
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
Now she's probably sick and tired of hearing from you.
If only we had a bit more ether.
It's like crappy timing that dragon was like, I'm gonna take all the light from your crystals to revive myself.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now. The choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You damned old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Wow. That's what the Shahagin said before Leviathan got loose.
Moonbreeder. She's gone.
I liked her.
You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Sharlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louis. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hither to the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlayan behind, Master Louis gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered, and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisois I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisois hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisois' wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisois' will before the end?
Mm-hmm.
The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Shit sucks. Never have I seen Urianger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlean Manor to celebrate Moonbreeda's life and mourn her passing. Also, here's some materia as a reward for your efforts. Not now, music. It's a bad time. Moonbreeda was a native of Charlean. I feel it's only fitting that we gather before the Mark of the Scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? It is a monument found at Wrath of Frost, and is sacred to Thaliak, guardian entity of the City of Learning. Thus shall we pray for our dear friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of Mother Crystal. So literally a character that was not meant for any part of the big main. I mean, arguably this is part of the main story, but not of any expansion or anything. She entered in post Realm Reborn and exited post Realm Reborn, which is a shame. I would have liked to see more of her character and her tenacity, I guess.
Forgive me, Moonbreeda. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
Did you guys not see that? I know we're mourning, but there's a dragon next to me in case you didn't notice. Alright. Oh wow. I got like a ton of, for the trial we just did, I got a ton of player commendations for that. I'm kind of, most of the time, I'm like surprised that I even get anything, considering it's my first time, but I don't know, I guess. Especially when it's an 8-man and there's 2 tanks, and I'm the off tank. But I guess people thought I did well. Everyone's sort of just sad. Yeah, I understand that. True. She was always a motivated person. "'Tis as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many, Louis Sois, Moonbreda, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need to remind you of this, of course. 'Tis for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping." Understandable. My apologies again, Teha. There is no other to whom I could display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. And that, because of that title alone, I would imagine we actually did 2.5. And now we're into 2.55.